Welcome everybody. You're on Mind Your Biz, and we have Robert Gauthier of Cymcorp, the founder and president. How are you, Robert?
I'm doing fantastic. Yourself?
I'm always good. So welcome. And tell us all about your company, what you're doing. I know it has to do with some great health benefits and immunity fighters. So give me the real deal on it.
Okay, I'll give you the real deal. I'll give you the long story, but short. All right. Except it might be extensive, but you can stop me at any time. You can cut in whatever. But for you to understand, Evan, is some 20. I always say 20 years, but it's been 22 years ago. I got a horrific statistic that 15 million children were orphaned of AIDS in Africa. Now, my wife and I. Now you got to understand, 15 million. That means that 30 million parents died. That means that these children would be growing up without the love, care, attention, and guidance of a parent. So my wife and I decided we would find a solution, a natural solution, okay? A non-toxic. Because a lot of people say, natural products don't work. Well, we're gonna demystify this. So after 7 years of research, 47 years of empirical study, we came up with something which is called Viprox. V in French is for life, and prox is for proximity to a quality of life. All right. That's very important because, Evans, we define health as not the mere absence of disease, but total spiritual, emotional, physical, and financial well-being. Why do I throw in the financial? Because, if people made money, there would be so much less stress, and 80% of disease is stress related. Then we'll get into that. So basically, that's how we define health. And long story short, we basically put our attention for the past 20 years in helping in Africa. All right. Because back then, you got to go back 25 years ago, the AIDS virus, 27,000 people were dying every day. Every day. Now, if you recall back then, we also ostracized the gay community because, hey, we can't get close to you. We can't touch hands. We can't hug. We can't this. We can't do that. It wasn't true. But it was a viral infection. So we invented something which is called Viprox. It is, and I will define it, the patents are a non-toxic, non-invasive therapy for the treatment of a host immune system related diseases. Whoa, big, but it's simple. A host immune system is your immune system that's been invaded. Now, if we look at back then, I invented this for the future, because back then tuberculosis has been eradicated, but it's coming back. So I knew that an airborne disease would be very problematic because it spreads very fast.
Now, wait, this is a preventative or it's a treatment?
It's both.
It's both.
Okay. Yes. There's the spilled milk approach to health, and there's the proactive approach, and we'll discuss that. But the whole idea is, you need to understand that since this invention, we've had H1N1, SARS, every year we have influenza, and now we have COVID-19 and the Delta variant. Now, it doesn't take rocket science, Evans, to understand that there'll be another one. The next one's going to be a lot worse. And there's a reason for it. Because if you've been vaccinated, then your immune system says, well, somebody else is doing the job, so why should I do the job? And the next one is going to be very dangerous for everybody. Actually, this year, the influenza, which, by the way, last year, for some reason in 100 years, there was no influenza. Wow, man. I mean, rocket science, let's read between the lines. We're going to have to do this. So basically, back then, I've invented this for the immediate problem, but looking in the future. Okay. And I know some of your listeners are professionals, and they're saying, you can't, actually the patent office in the United States says you can't predict what's going to come in the future. Well, actually, we can. I mean, that's extrapolation. We're not, we're not an astronomist, or we don't have a crystal ball. But, if you look at what's been happening the past few years, doesn't take rocket science to know what's going to happen. So basically, why can we say that we take care of all of these viruses? And by the way, when you call a host immune system, it could be a bacteria, a virus, a mold, chemical invader, or even a pharmaceutical product.
Anything that compromises our system.
Exactly. So we don't differentiate because we don't have to. We're not like big pharma where we're not disease managers. What we do is we go at the root cause of any dysfunction at your cellular level. We don't have to give it a name. We take care of your cells. If your cells are healthy, they take care of the tissue, and the tissue takes care of the dysfunctionality. Right. And that's the fallacy, Evans, is for people to try to make that paradigm shift to think action reaction. We'll leave action reaction to big pharma. You have a headache.
Over the counter, or is this something prescribed?
No, it's over the counter.
Wow.
Over the counter. Non-toxic, as I said, non-invasive, meaning you don't need a needle, you don't need a doctor. You can take this, and we guarantee results 100% within 1 month, or we'll give you back your money.
Wow.
Yes, sir.
That's strong. That's a strong warranty.
It's a strong statement. When I put that out there many years ago, my lawyer says you're going to go broke. I say, no, when you help people, they don't fool around. They don't steal from you. If, let's say you tell me, Robert, my mother's got cancer, can you help her out? The answer is absolutely yes. Well, my father's got arthritis, can you help him out? And the answer is yes. So first thing comes to mind, this is snake oil. No. Your body has the intrinsic ability and desire to stay healthy. The truth is we're a cesspool of bacteria, viruses, and parasites. And on a daily basis, our body takes care of all of this stuff, and we eat all this junk food, and we're stressed and all of this, and your body takes care of it. And then at one point, it falters. So what we do is we re-give your body that intrinsic ability to fend for itself. Now, I would ask your audience a few questions, I know they can't answer, but it will put it proper context, okay? I will ask the audience, because I know that's important that they agree. By the way, the answer is yes to all 3 questions. I would have loved to go to school and the teacher says, this is so very simple, but let's play along with this one. Would you agree that we're all made up of energy and cells?
Of course.
Of course. But you know what? You'll talk to health professionals and they'll say, I'm not so sure about this, doctor. Energy and cells. What is energy? Well, from the tip of your toes to the top of your head, you're a cellular structure, whether you want it or not. 100 to 150 trillion cells. And these cells have energy. Now, if you have bad energy or not good energy, you can call it a cancer. The cancerous cell will proliferate 5 to 10 times faster than your cells. And unless we get them to proliferate faster, you're basically going to die of cancer. All right? But you don't have to, because that's basically what we are, cells, and we are in the cellular health business. Okay. Second premise. Would you agree that if you give your body the right substrates, we're going to call them building blocks or fuel, that your body has the ability to regain health? And the obvious answer, but some people say, no, I don't believe that. I need, you've seen the movie $1 Million Baby.
Yeah.
Yeah. When the mother says, I need my meds. I can't do without my meds. Actually, you don't need your meds. What you need is the proper eating habit or the proper substrates for the condition that you have. And if we look at the indigenous people in your country, in the United States, or in my country, when I go to Africa and I tell them, you don't even need my product. Go in the fields, find that right herb, and you can get rid of AIDS. And then all of a sudden they all look at me like, say, the only difference between you guys and me is I put the millions of dollars necessary to prove it according to certain standards. Hogwash. Who needs to prove things? If it works, the proof is in the pudding. Right. You understand? So basically, if you give your body the right fuel, it will regain what it's supposed to do. It's be healthy. We're not supposed to be. It's not normal that at 57 years old, people get out of bed and they say, well, I'm a stiff this morning. What do you mean you're stiff this morning? You should be stiff for something else, but not for getting out of bed. You understand? So basically what I'm saying, and I'm making a joke, but you don't, it's not normal. I went to Switzerland with my wife and then to Austria. We went trekking in mountain. I was 40 some odd years old. I'm going up the mountain. I'm sweating. I got salt coming out of my body and and then you got 70-year-old people and say, good morning, that's in German, and they're going up like if nothing happened. What's the difference between two? Probably lifestyle, what they're eating, what we're not eating. You understand? McDonald's tastes good, but it's not going to do it for you. Right. Last but not least, of the three questions, I want people to understand something. According to us, and it's not a question, but I want people to know something. Diseases don't exist. And I know now I'm going to get their attention. Doctors are going to say, I've been treating people for the past 30, 40 years, and you could tell me that I was wrong. Guy who's got high blood pressure, diabetes, and all they say, I haven't had. No, these are just words. They are labels given by a certain establishment, medical and scientific. The truth is, they're all cellular dysfunctions. If we take care of the cells intracellularly, the cells take care of the tissue takes care of the organ, and the organ takes care of the supposed disease. In the United States.
I'm real curious because you're talking about your product, right? And how the body works. But what is in your product? Because that's what's boggling my mind. What ingredients do you have that differ from the supplements that's promoted all the time to help you fight disease or fight compromised immune system, like zinc and D3 and B12 and all these vitamin C's? What's the difference between your product and all these supplements that can naturally help your body?
Very good question. Here's what it is. First of all, it's not one product. It is a trilogy of product. And I will answer with a question. What are the three elements necessary to sustain life?
Obviously, water.
That's right. Air and food. So our products are there to give you peak performance on the air that you breathe. When you breathe, by the way, you create oxidative stress. You rust like a nail, whether you want it or not. Everybody. That's why athletes don't live to be very old. People say, "Oh, well, he's a gold medalist. He's he's healthy." No, he's in shape. The average life of a gold medalist is 54 years old. The average life of an American who eats at McDonald's is 79 to 81 years old. You see the difference? So basically, you are killing yourself by oxidation. So we neutralize that, the air that you breathe. We also detoxify all of these toxins. And when I say toxins, I want people to know the excess or the abuse of pharmaceutical product is one of the worst toxins. Let's not talk about the environment and then all this. We all know it's toxic. We know they're lying to us. We know big corporations are abusing this planet. So we get all that out of your system, and then we rebalance your immune system. Wow. In this day and age, and trust me, the next few years, your immune system is going to be the topic of conversation. So that's the air that you breathe. The first product is called GSH Complex, and that's its function. It's got many more functions, but that's it. The second thing that we have is we have a cellular hydrating formula. We structured water in a certain way that it acts like a knife. It takes the nutrients, or in this case, the amino acids necessary, sends them in the middle of your cells, takes the toxins out and pulls them out of your cells. But that's not all. We are 70% water. All right. So your cellular structure that is in water. And if we dehydrated you, if you're a 200-pound person, if you're 70, that means you would be like 40 pounds left or something, the math of matter. But the important part here is, remember we said cells have energy and we're all cellular structure, and it can be positive or negative. How it gets the positive energy to the next cell, the 100, 150 trillion cells, is through hydration. But it has to get its message from inside your cell. And when you drink a glass of water, okay, you will hydrate, and mostly 60% the exterior of your cells. But all the energy is inside your cell. What we do is we will send that at 60% inside your cell, and your cells are going to talk to the other cells. And I know that doctors are going to talk, the cells that talk, is this esoteric? No, it's not. I'm using very common words for the average person to understand. It's simple. We want your cells to talk to each other. So that's the second product. I should have had it with me, but basically it's just concentrate that you make 60 liters of water. Why do you want to do 60 liters of water? Because according to science, we want people to drink 2 liters per day. You drink 2 liters per day of clean water, not tap water. And guess what? Most of your problems are going to go away. People don't do it. Elderly people are in retirement homes, and doctors say, I can't get her to drink water. She's just wasting away. That's your mother. They're talking to your mother. If they took our product, they would hydrate 10 times to 13 times more with the same glass of water. How important. So we take care of the water that you drink and the conductivity, okay, in our patents. And the last but not least is enzymes. Why enzymes? Life begins with enzymes. Enzymatic function. I'm talking with my accent. You might be thinking, what the Frenchman did. The thought that you had about me was preceded by an enzymatic function. Nothing happens in your body unless your enzymes tells your body to do it. But more importantly, we're touching the Americans. You guys like your McDonald's and you like your shakes and your all this. And then you've got acid reflux, you've got indigestion, but the most part is you don't assimilate your nutrients. What about if you take a Big Mac and I take a Big Mac and I take my 2 little pills here and I assimilate 5 times more nutrients than you do? Hell, I'm going to have 5 times more energy for my day. I'm going to have 5 times more energy for fighting disease. I'm going to have 5 times more energy to make love. Basically, it's simple. It's mathematics, right? You put all 3 of these things put together, and you've got a patented therapy for the treatment of degenerative diseases, and we guarantee results.
So tell me how a guy like you makes this great product, right?
Yeah.
How are you able to compete with these huge names, with pharma, with these household vitamins, Centrum and everything in every store? I want to know the business behind it. How are you able to convey that your product can be as good or better than products that everyone hears about on a daily basis? Tell me about that challenge.
Well, there's the downfall of what we've been doing. I put too much energy in Africa. But now I'm coming back to North America. Africa was my baby. You understand? I wanted to contribute. I'm actually not a researcher. I used to own supermarkets. I swear to God. I used to own supermarkets. And then one day I told my wife, for the next 40 years of my life, I'm going to walk into the same store. Okay, see the same employees. Now they're nice people, the whole works. I said, I want to see the world. I want to do something. I want to change. And then all of a sudden there's this statistic that, the first statistic was, I tried to get water to the needy in Africa. But water, we have the most water in Canada, in the whole world. We got 20% of the planet's water, but you can't, it's too heavy. You can't get it down there. While I was studying the water, I came up on the statistic of the 15 million children. And I told my wife, can you imagine what was going if they're not guided? When they get to be teenagers, they're going to be robbers, they're going to rape, it doesn't make sense. It means that the whole society, the ecosystem of a society is starting on the wrong foot. So we put all of our energy down there. And now we're coming back here in North America. I'm saying coming back here. We're coming to North America. And basically why we're not known is because inevitably we didn't put in the effort, marketing effort. That's why I'm on your show. And we've got a distributor for the United States and for Canada. And we're going to get to be known. How do we differentiate ourselves? Well, first of all, we're patented. We're clinically proven. We're different because there's nobody that addresses these 3 elements to sustain life. And very few companies can say that I'll give you back your money and they get 98.9% efficacy on a clinical study, double-blind, World Health Organization standard and peer review by 2 US universities. So this is not hogwash. It's not just, oh my God, these are natural products. People, by the way, I want to demystify something. When people say natural products don't work, you've heard that. That's been indoctrinated into our system. And by the way, I'm not knocking big pharma. My father was medical support for the fourth biggest pharmaceutical company in the world. He was a pharmacist. My sister worked for that same company. My brother worked for that company. So I'm not knocking it. But, growing up, I had 2 pneumonias, 15 bronchitis that put me in hospital. I had access to the best doctor for free because back then we had to pay for it. And because of my father's status. And I had access to all the medication. I was always sick. Every winter I had 1 to 2 colds. Now, I'm 66 years old. For past 21 years, I have not taken so much as 1 aspirin. What's wrong with that picture?
Yeah,
because
we become too reliant on the pharmaceuticals.
Well, what it is, Evan, people don't know this. And if they don't trust what I'm telling them, stay up at night. And in Canada, you watch the infomercials, and there is 1 to 3 collective lawsuits against Big Pharma for the damage that they've done. I'm talking non-toxic, non-invasive. So basically, I can't do any harm. I'm talking about taking care of your cells, so I can't make a wrong diagnostic. We're not here to diagnose, treat, or cure any disease. It would be illegal for us to do so. I am here to treat you or your listener at the intracellular level and let your body do what it does best. Let me give you our medical advisor, Dr. Bender from California, now deceased. He was a surgeon. He was a family practitioner. And when I met him, he laughed at me. Okay. So I said, I'll tell you what, Bob, you give me 10 of your worst patients that you can't get a result. I'm going to supply them. And then if they get better, we discuss again. Calls me up a month and a half later. He says, okay, do you have a job for me? I can't continue like this. It opened his eyes. But Bob here had a nice analogy for people to understand, because he asked me about what makes you different. And, healing is a process. Okay. And you have to trigger that process. Nobody, not one product, not one doctor has ever healed a patient. And Bob used to say it this way. He says, look, if you have a car accident and then the person gets really mangled up, they got broken bones, they got lacerations, they come up emergency, he comes up as a doctor, puts a cast on the person, puts some sutures, sends them home. The doctor is not there to do the healing. Okay. The doctor has just set the proper stage for the body to heal itself. Okay. And when people understand this, they're going to be more careful what they eat. And then they're going to start looking at supplementation, because the food that we have doesn't have the substrates necessary. The only difference is, why do all this research when we've done it and we're going to give you what you need? So to answer your question, what makes us different? We've put in the research, and we're a more complete, holistic approach than taking just a vitamin C or something. I'm not knocking vitamin C, but you need to know something. If you take vitamin C, vitamin D, all of these antioxidants, they don't work unless you take our product, because the triggering factor within your cells is called glutathione. It's a process, GSH, and it is the master antioxidant, and it controls all the other oxidative or antioxidant function in your body. So you need what I have to offer to get those products. Now, I'm not saying to people, don't take those products. I take them every day. COVID-19, I take zinc, I take vitamin B6, B12, a whole array, vitamin C, vitamin E. I am, basically building an armor to make sure that I don't catch this bugger. And if I did, then my patents prove that we will bind to that little sucker, they call COVID-19. We will render it water soluble, and we will evict it from your body. So that's what makes us different.
You guys are just trying to convey the importance of health on a intracellular level, which I think a lot of people, they don't think about. They think about surface health, not so much of the health within.
A Band-Aid solution. I got a headache. Doctor, I got a headache. What should I take? They say aspirin. Okay. Then if they came to me, I would say, well, okay, are you happy? Do you digest properly? Then are you happy? Well, I'm always fighting with my husband. I hate my job. I don't eat so good. So I got, intestinal problem. And you think that maybe if we took care of being happy, maybe you wouldn't have the headache. Some lady came to me once many, many years ago, and she's 82 years old. And she says, every winter, my hands are always cold and I can't get warm. So I said, can you help me out? I said, of course I can, but have you ever gone to a chiropractor? She says, no, these guys are the charlatan French, they're hocus pocus. I said, well, have you ever had an accident in your life? She said, yeah. I'm a farmer and I fell off the tractor and I hurt my back. So I said, why don't you go and see a chiropractor? She goes and sees the chiropractor, and lo and behold, cric, crac, croc, he fixes her back, and then the circulation goes, and then she doesn't need my product. Now, I would have liked to sell it to her, but she was so happy. Point in case, they went to the root cause of the problem instead of just a Band-Aid solution. Looking, what I find very regretful, Evans, is you go to a doctor, and the first question they ask you is, do you have any history of cancer in your family? That's only 16% of disease is hereditary. They should be asking questions like, are you happy? Just the word happy, if you are, and when people, oh yeah, I'm pretty happy. How's your husband? Oh, we fight a lot. And then next thing you know, they start crying and then it goes downhill. There's 90% of any disease, and this is documented, is actually environmental, and 80% of your environment is stress. So why don't we have a look at stress, and then we have to look at what goes in here, comes out there. The difference is going to make health. That's basically it.
So tell me, where can the audience do a deep dive on your products? Because obviously you're giving a lot of information, and some people need to take time to read and
yes.
So where can they get all the technical information on your products?
First of all, the company, the website would be Cymcorp, Cymcorp.ca. Okay, it's .ca, but then there's a button, USA in there, so we have a US and a Canadian, but that's what it. If not, they can go to goodsolidhealth.com. That's easy to remember. An acronym, GSH is the product, but good, you want to be, feeling good, solid for a long time, and we're taking care of your health. Within this, you can have access to our website. Then you go to Viprox. And then every product we have, you have little tabs under. And one of them will say, the label. The other one will say, method of use. And the other one's documentation. And then if you go on documentation, then you press on there, then you got the clinical study, you got the patents, you got the doctor's review, you've got all of this. But, Evans, everybody's looking for, do you have research? You have this. You know what's more important to me? Testimonials. Get it from the horse's mouth.
That's it. Get
it from someone just like you. This all research. You know what hurts me about research? And I'll give you, doctors are not going to like me on this. Placebos are up to 30% of the effect of a product. Did you know that? So if you take a sugar pill and you got a pill for cancer, 30% of the people who took the sugar pill are going to get better. Yet we put all our attention on chemo, radiation therapy, Why don't we have a look at why did that individual or that 30% up to, by the way, it's up to 30%, get a positive result? And we might look into acupuncture, energy, yoga, okay, meditation, chiropractors. I know this is not popular, and I don't own any of these clinics, but the whole idea is look where there's energy. Originally, we said we're all energy and cells, and don't do like some of my friends. I got friends, they went to go, got a serious problem in their back, go to a chiropractor, the acupuncture, and she put a whole bunch of needles into me and left me there for an hour and nothing happened, so I'm not going back. Oh, yeah. You're 60 years old. You've had back problems all your life. You think that one instance is going to do it. A healing process is a process. It takes a certain time. It starts right away, because the first question, which I didn't answer, was, natural products don't work. It's not true. It's not true. let's look at something. See this? I'm thirsty. I drink it. Right away, there's a biochemical reaction and I get hydrated, right? It's a natural product. So natural products start working right away. But
I got one important and kind of last question. What's
Go
your
ahead.
take on vaccination compared to something like your product or other products that build your immune system? What do
Okay.
you think is a more effective approach?
This is, I mean, you're asking me the most divisive question there is in North America right now. This is going to bring civil war in families at Christmas. You understand? Right. But I'll give you my answer. I'm not against vaccines. Okay, documented vaccines, well established. Right? Say I come from a pharmaceutical family, and what I know is it takes 10, 20 to 30 years for a vaccine to go from, the initial trials, the second trial last, and to figure out that there's no toxic side effects that could be very detrimental to the person. Now, lo and behold, we've got a pandemic, which is, by the way, if you look at this whole pandemic, I won't go into that, but point in cases, within 8 months, we got vaccines that have not been tested. Okay. Now, here in the province of Quebec, where I used to live, I'm in Ontario, we got 22,000 frontline workers in the health industry who refused to get vaccinated because, and they were to lose their job at the beginning of the month, but the health minister said, I'm going to give you till the end of the month, and then you're out of a job. We should ask ourselves question, Evan, why would these educated frontline workers, doctors, nurses who see it all not want to get vaccinated? Okay. Second, okay, this is hot though. You got to understand, this is a political maneuver right now. It's not scientific. And I know you're going to say, Robert, I got all the research to prove that this vaccine is good. And I got all the research to prove to you that it has very, bad side effects. Who's right and who's wrong? I'll tell you what. When people start asking me these questions, I say, has your government ever lied to you? Yeah. When do you know when a politician lies? When he opens his mouth, right? Well, then why would they tell you the truth about this? Who has a vested interest? In any research, the research I did, if it comes from your company, it has no value. It has to be an independent panel appointed by somebody else. So this way it has value. Okay. Now, the doctors that are coming out with all this research from Israel, from all over the world, okay, they're not the United States, but you got Tony Robbins assemble 6 unbelievable, and you can go and look at it and listen to what he has to say. And Tony makes a pretty good case for answering your question. But the point in this is, let's have a look at these doctors that go and say, I don't agree with this because of that. They have nothing to gain. They will lose their job. They will be ostracized. They will probably be sued, and they still have a family to take care of. So the point in case is, when you ask me why, compare the vaccines to what I have to offer, well, I got 20 years behind me. We have never had one complaint. We guarantee our results, and we're natural. Now, we're non-toxic, non-invasive. You don't have to get a shot in the arm, and then you have, your all sorts of side effects. But then I'm going to go further, okay? We have children. Do you have children?
Of course.
I got children and grandchildren. Now, history is repeating itself. Look at what happened with Tamigolite, all the deformities. Look at what happened with certain pharmaceutical products, okay? Look at the statistics that 90% or 89, but I'm going to make round figures. 90% of the death in Canada, I don't know exactly in the United States, were all people who were 65 and older. And then the younger ones don't need the vaccine. And we're going to go and infect them with something that has not been tested, proven. You've got 157 nurses in California that said in one hospital, we're not getting this vaccine. I mean, you got to have guts in this day and age, because you're at Christmas, what's going to happen? You lost your job. Look at you, because you don't want a little shot, But then that nurse saw, a child getting vaccinated and then come in and then they had, can't control the nerve and all of, the atrocities. They see it day in and day out. So when you're asking me this question, I'm a grandfather, it hits home. Why don't you try? By the way, what does the vaccine do? It spikes your immune system, right? There's a doctor, and I don't remember his name, and he said, natural immunity is the only immunity. Any other form of immunity is a cheap attempt to fool Mother Nature, and Mother Nature will never be fooled. And look what's happening, side effects. Now, go to Israel, and they have 2.5 million people study, and they say that natural immunity is 13 times better than the vaccine. Not 13%, 13 times. That's 1,300 times, 300% better. So my answer to you, obviously, would be, why don't you look at another alternative to, raising your immune system? In our case, by the way, one of our product called GSH, you can go on PubMed. That's very important for people on the line. Go on PubMed, which is a publication of all the research in the health industry in peer review. And there's 153,000 medical articles to substantiate what I'm telling you today. 153,000. There is not one pharmaceutical product in the world that's documented like this. Last but not least, I have a friend who does research. He's been doing research for 15, 20 years. Haven't found the solution yet. And Pfizer, Derma, and all of these found the solution to a pandemic in 8 months. We are in for a whole lot of aches and pains, trouble. And I don't want this in my grandchildren, my children. I can't say anything. My oldest one is 52 years old, so inevitably she'll do whatever she wants. But the grandchildren, let's protect. See, I tell parents something, which is, I'm going to go far. We have, as parents, and you have it too, we have God-given ability to protect our children. You're talking to your wife, your child's going to run into the street. You don't even see the child. And your hand goes and stops, and then the car goes by. You've seen that time and time again. My son, we live in Canada. It's winter. We're going to the hockey game, and it's icy, and he slips. The bus is rolling, and I just have time to grab him before the... So what I tell parents is, go with your heart, your instinct, and it feels good, and you think you should give the shot to your kid, do it. But if it doesn't feel good here, hell, don't do it.
Hey, well, Robert, we appreciate this lesson on the immune system, because you're just going to make people mindful that it's deeper than what we see.
It is.
And I instruct everyone to really check out your product. Do some reading on it. Read the science of it, and the science doesn't lie.
No, let me say something. My brother died, okay? And he drowned in a pool that had an average of 3 feet of water. Yeah. See what statistics? He didn't know how to swim, and he fell in the deep end.
We appreciate the education and waking people up. Immune system is really everything. It really is. It's going to prevent a lot of problems for your future, no matter what.
Yeah. Yes. The future. Look, Evans, I know that time is of essence and all this, but I want you to know something. They say that 4 million people died of COVID-19 so far. Well, first of all, let's look at the statistics, okay? And then the CDC says that in 2021, no incidence of influenza. We have had influenza for 105 years, and all of a sudden there's no. So all these deaths going to, you go in Canada, the website for Health Canada, and they say, the incidence of cancer has gone down dramatically the past year. So point in case is the next one is going to hit, and it's going to be hundreds of millions of people. The ones who have a strong immune system will have the ability to protect themselves. And to prove it to you, at the beginning, Fauci was talking about D3, vitamin D3 for your immune system. They shut him up. He only said it once. Why? Why? I have no idea. I don't know why. But basically, people, don't take my word for it. Of course, I've got vested interest here. I have we're talking about my products. Document yourself. Go on the internet, punch in GSH, glutathione, and read up on all of the research for your immune system, and then come back to our website. We'll be more than happy to serve you.
Sounds good, Robert.
All right.
Thanks again for coming by and letting us mind your biz.
All right. Thanks a lot.
All right. Stay healthy.
You too. Bye-bye.
Take care.
The Biz is here. The Biz is here.